Hey guys, it's Dwight. Welcome back to my studio. It's been a while. I'm sort of recovering from the opening of the Three Spirit Movement art show that was a collaborative show that I was in last weekend. So I thought today I would sit down and try to create something fun. Now, I'm going to be using an interesting color palette. I'm going to be mixing my own paints to create an adobe color, like a terracotta, and sort of a muted turquoise as well as a beige. But I'm also going to add rose gold and some blue to that as well. Something else I'm going to show you after this little introduction is, do you remember a while back when I was complaining about my canvases sort of being deformed in certain spots and how my paint would run off? Well, that happened to me the other day. I meticulously check corners, edges, and different spots within or on top of the canvas to see if it's level. So I just sort of slowly watch the paint pool in one direction. And I'll show you that in just a moment before I show you the paints I'm going to be using on today's pour. I will be doing a colander pour. I have some ideas. Hopefully I can make them happen today. I'll let you know once we get it poured and everything is cured and it's a thumbs up. Okay, guys, thanks for coming back. And hold on, we'll see you in a second. Okay guys, here we are in my studio today. Before I get started on a new pour, I wanted to show you what happens sometimes with some of these canvases I get at Michael's that tend to be, I don't know, they're like imperfect. So what I usually do with all my canvases, I make sure they're level. I check all the corners and edges, and I even check on the interior areas to make sure there's no sagging. But what happened here is, I don't know if you can see, walk around over here. You can see, look at that, all the paint just moved over to this area and came off the edge over here. This side looks pretty good, sort of. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Even the paint looks kind of funky in the middle. So I'm not really sure what that's all about today. I haven't had a problem like that in a long time. So I'm going to be doing a new painting today, and it's with the Gallery 3 wrapped canvas. This is a 2. I'm going to put this off the side to dry. I may just experiment on it later just to see if it's usable, but if not, that was a waste of money. It always ticks me off. Okay, I'm going to clean this all up and I'm going to mix some new paints. I'm going to be doing blues and purples today with some like teal in there, and of course some white, and probably some champagne or cream color just to kind of lighten it up, but also give it some interest and texture. Okay, guys, hold on, and I'm going to get started here in a few moments. Okay, guys, here I am. I'm back. I mixed all my paints. It's kind of hard to tell with this lighting here, but it's sort of a muted palette. I think they'll go well together, and I don't think it's going to be like really bright, which is not what I'm going for. I'm going for just sort of color and sort of a muted look. Now I'm saying that right now, and let's see what happens when I'm done. But I have them in the order pretty much that I'm going to be pouring them in my colander. So I'm going to be starting down here with the white, and that's just Artist Loft Soft Body White. Now it looks a little blue because I was using the same strainer that I strained my blue paints in to get all the little gunks out of it. This color here is my Adobe or my brick color, and I mixed that with, on my own, I mixed it with red and yellow to make orange and just a little bit of blue. You just need a little bit of blue, and you just have to keep mixing, 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 and mixing. This next is a khaki color. I used brown and yellow and white. I mixed that on my own. And then this is just rose gold, and this is a muted teal, and it's just a little bit of teal or peacock pearl I used, some white and some silver. And then this is Dazzling Metallics Ice Blue, and this is just my white, and then my dump paint. So here's my canvas. It's a 30 by 40 canvas, and I'm going to double check the consistencies of my paint, and then I'm going to prime the edges and corners and set things up. We'll get going. Okie doke, here we are back in the studio, ready to do this colander pour. So I want to start off by saying hello, thanks for coming back. And here's my colander. It's just a regular old kitchen colander I got on Amazon. Came in a set of 3, and it seems like the middle one works the best for me. So I'm going to start with this white with a little bit of blue tint to it. Put that on the bottom. And then I'll go with the darkest color, which is the brick, sort of brick adobe color. And I paired it off with the khaki beige color, and also added a little bit of that rose gold, since they're all sort of in the same family. I think the khaki is a nice separation between the rose gold and the adobe color. Now I poured a lot in there. So now I'm putting some white in to sort of separate and lighten things up. Remember, I wanted this to be muted in the colors. That's why the colors are sort of, well, they're muted, except for the blue. So here is that turquoise with some silver. I added it to the white again to provide some lightness in the middle of this pour. And then, of course, the blue, the dark blue. And pairing it with that turquoise and silver, it does lighten it up a little bit. Poured the rest of the rose gold. Then that brick color on top of that. Emptied out the cup. And then again, that beige to sort of neutralize that brick color so it's not so reddish up against the other colors. And then again, pouring in the white. I think I have some blue. Yeah, a little bit more blue. And then I guess I'm topping it off with the blue. And as you can see, the paints sink. So there is some mixing and also some diluting as the paints are layered there inside the colander. So I'm checking the consistency of my black paint for the last time before I dump it. I get into this ritual I mentioned before that I clean all my stir sticks before I leave the room. I don't want to sit too long watching the painting develop. I want to be surprised, but at the same time, I don't want to be disappointed when I'm watching. So I clean up as quickly as I can, and I leave the room for about an hour and a half. That's typically when you see my time lapse, is when I leave the room. Okay, here we go, lifting the colander up. Pretty cool colors, I must say. The middle doesn't matter as much to me. I'm just getting any drippings that are left in the colander to be in the middle because it's still going to form some cells. Okie doke, here we go, folks. So if you notice how the black paint sunk initially, what that says to me is that my negative space is going to be small, which is perfectly fine. So I just slowly pour this in, say a quick prayer in hopes that this turns out well. And then we're just going to tilt like I typically do. I'm not going to swirl it. I'm just going to take it down to the corner. The paints aren't thick, but I'm going nice and slow. It looks like they're thick, but they're not thick. Bring it back ever so slightly. You can see cells starting to form on the edges. And then bring it back to that last corner. So what's happening here is that I'm stretching that black paint, which is allowing the color underneath to come through. As you can see, it's already started to come through. So at this point, I'm pretty confident that this will turn out nicely. I can actually already start to see the color variations coming through. And you can see some of the cells coming up in the middle of the black. What that says to me is that it's going to fill in. It's just a matter of time for the bubbles to work themselves up, and they'll show up. I'm drying my hands off here, and I'm going to go and probably, there we go, put it on time lapse, and you can see all the color coming in. And sort of watch that adobe khaki color kind of really set, and it really sort of deepens in color. And see the negative space is really small. And yeah, so here we have it. So this, I sat, this is about an hour on time lapse. Okay. Okay guys, here I am, I'm back. It's been about an hour, hour and a half. I'm very surprised actually. I mean, I love it. The colors are subtle, they're nice. It's not too bright. You know, I've got the white going through here and sort of that, I keep calling it adobe, but that color is so muted now that I think it goes really well with that beige and then the blue. Yeah, so here, negative space. Let's talk about the problem child here. Now, overall, I am not displeased with the negative space. But if it stays like this, which I'm pretty sure it will, all I'm gonna do is go in, there I go again, I'm gonna round all of these, maybe trim back some of these and trim back over here, just make them more round. And yeah, I mean, I've got these right here and I don't wanna take them out. Well, I've got time to think about it because it's got to dry, but I will take the edge away. I will clean that up to make that black. I don't think I'm going to touch any of these in here. I think they're going to dry pretty much as it looks. So yeah, there's a lot of dimension to this. There's a part of me that I don't mind. Let me step over here. I don't mind like the flare. I'm not quite sure what to call it. But I would like to see about how I can do that a little bit differently next time around. I'm not really sure. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry overnight. I'll see if I have time tomorrow morning. I've got to be somewhere most of the day. I'm gonna be at the gallery giving my artist talk. But yeah, I'll come back in and I'll do this for sure and show you on time lapse what I decided to do. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay guys, thanks for watching and hold on. Okay guys, there it is, the door to my studio. Yeah, so this is the next morning. Let's see how much is dry. Beautiful. Yes, okay, this turned out great. So the colors are nice. They're muted, they're not like bright and shiny. Yeah, this is really gorgeous. I'm really happy. I'm happy with that use of color. I mean, that khaki and that adobe brick, well, they all work well together, actually. However, so guess what I'm gonna go do? Now, let me turn the overhead light on. Whoops. Here we go. I'm gonna go fix the negative space. People always ask me, why even touch it? It's like, well, you know, you have all this beautiful stuff over here, and what you need is a focal point for one thing, the negative space, but it needs to be sharp and clean. That's why sometimes I dot the cells. You know, what I'm gonna do, there's a lot to do in here actually. I'm going to trim, you know, all this back through here, make them more round. Even this one in here, same here. This whole side needs to be trimmed. These here, and I'm gonna just take out the edge so it's black, so it looks like a waterfall edge coming over. And that's, at least that's the term that I use. Other than that, I'm not gonna touch it. I may dot the cells, but I have to be careful. I want it to be very subtle. These are too big for me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I may take them out, but don't jump, don't scream, it's okay. Or I just make them smaller, just make them small and round, which I'll probably do so they look like they're floating more. And you know, I'll take this one down and these here. Okay, that's a lot of talking, and I look forward to showing you the end results. So what I'm gonna do, probably, I'm busy today, so another day, I will get down to this and I will do a little time lapse for you so you can sort of watch my process, and then we will go ahead and show you the final end results. Okay, it's a different perspective. Yeah, so if you have a name for it, let me know. I'm not quite sure what to call it. Anyway, okay, friends, hold on and let me get set up here in a few minutes and we'll get ready to do the next piece on this. Okay guys, here I am all done. I did my negative space, I cleaned it up a little bit, and you know, I kept those big cells. I almost took them out, but I said, no, let's just keep them in. I cleaned up around them so it looks much cleaner. So let me move in a little closer. I'm most likely not gonna dot those cells. They really contrast nicely with the black. So yeah, that's what I did. I just kind of cleaned up and I cleaned up the edge over here so it looks like it's floating a little bit more. But yeah, look at the color and the mixing of the colors. You know, there's the beautiful blues on the bottom. Actually, this turned out quite nice. I'm quite happy with that. And I really like that right there. Huh. So yeah, so guys, what do you think? I'm digging it. I think it's pretty cool. There's another one over there. I'm sort of liking that it's light, which looks good. So it's not, you know, too dark with blues or any other colors. It's just sort of a neutral tone to it. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Who knows? I may get back in the studio in a day or two, and if I do, you'll see the end results. Okay, guys, take care.